Today is Thursday, December 3rd, 2024. And now for today's top news. President of South Korea, Yoon Suk Yeol, is in some deep water right now since he's ordered a martial law, meaning that there would be military surveillance and presence in the roads and monitoring everyday life. And the reason the president ordered martial law was to oppose and eliminate anti-state people. Now, in Parliament, there are different opposing groups in Parliament, just like we would have Republicans and Democrats in the United States. There are opposing groups in Parliament, but they came together, had a meeting, and voted against the martial law. They said it was not appropriate and invalidated it. There was a military presence for a while on the roads, but the military did leave after Parliament invalidated the martial law order. And Parliament swore that it would stay until the president backed off of his martial law order. Yoon later did back off and he took back the martial law. There were hundreds of protesters close to government buildings, and they wanted President Yoon impeached. Now, the president had many rivals. He really only won by a hair in the 2022 elections. Police in Los Angeles, California have stated they have video evidence of a missing woman named Hannah Kobayashi, a Hawaiian woman who's been missing. They saw her crossing the U.S.-Mexican border and entering into Mexico. And so that has changed this case to a voluntary missing persons case. And that there's no evidence of foul play or abduction. And Kobayashi has every right to decide she wants to disappear and not keep contact with anybody. But the police are encouraging her to contact the police and contact her family so that they can confirm that she's safe. Kobayashi's family has been looking for her and asking for help searching for her, concerned for her safety and well-being. She'd missed a connecting flight from Hawaii. She missed her connecting flight, and her family hasn't heard from her since. There's been no contact. And there's been a national search looking for her. It's really sad. Since then, on November 2024, her father committed suicide after searching for her. And the police have stated that she is no longer in danger and she's voluntarily avoiding contacting people. It's a really strange case. There's one woman in Florida named Sarah Boone who was recently convicted to life in prison because she zipped her boyfriend into a suitcase and left him there for hours. He ended up suffocating. The boyfriend's name is Jorge Torres Jr., and as the newspapers explained, Sarah swore under oath, Sarah Boone, that she had suffered abuse under his hands many times and for a long period of time. In February 2020, the two of them were drinking and goofing off and playing hide and seek. And they thought it would be funny to zip Jorge into a suitcase. And the girlfriend, Sarah Boone, zipped him in and took video of the situation. And he could be heard pleading to be released from the suitcase, saying that he couldn't breathe. But Sarah just responded in the video, "That's how it feels when you cheat on me." So she left him in the suitcase and went to bed and left him in the suitcase all night. In the morning, she came and unzipped it and saw that he was not responsive. He had passed out. So she called 911, but it was too late. He was already dead. She'd already killed him. So she was declared guilty of second-degree murder and is now sentenced to life in prison. Donald Trump posted on social media that there will be all hell to pay in the Middle East if Hamas refuses to release the Israeli hostages by the time he's voted into presidency in January 20th. Trump said he will attack those who are responsible in a greater attack that's ever been seen in U.S. history. Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu stated that he really appreciated Trump's strong statement. There are thought to be about 100 Israeli hostages still in Gaza, and it is feared that about a third of them have already passed away. Hamas's spokesperson has already said that they have already suggested a swapping of hostages, Palestinian for Israeli. Hamas says that it is Netanyahu that is the one who has prevented that from happening and proceeding. The famous singer Elton John has stated that he's recently lost his vision. He had a serious eye infection. The eye infection started about 4 months ago, and at first he couldn't see out of his right eye, and eventually the problem moved over to the left eye. He hopes he can regain his vision, but for now he can't see, he can't read, he can't do anything with his eyes. But he says he's maintaining a positive attitude and feels fortunate and is proud of how he's handling the current situation. Notre Dame, the famous church in Paris, France, is about to reopen at the end of the week, on the weekend. There'll be a big celebration. It's been closed down for 5 years for reconstruction after an awful fire destroyed it back in 2019. Now, many different world leaders plan on flying to France to celebrate the reopening of Notre Dame, including Donald Trump. There'll be a great celebration in Paris, including the Archbishop will go and bang on the door to signify the reopening of Notre Dame. And then people will enter, and there will be music and a big grand opening. There will be an organ that has over 800 pipes. It had toxic soot on it, but they've been cleaned. They've been cleaned, and now it's ready to reopen. That's all the top news for today. See you tomorrow, and remember to stay with the light.